Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. Pleased to be joined by Kenna Mitchell. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing good. If people do not know who you are, who would just kind of introduce yourself and tell everybody what you do for people that may not know?
My name is Kenna Mitchell. I race pro late models and super late models on the West Coast. I've been running in the Cars Tour West series, and we finished fourth in that this year, and then won the super late model championship and pro late model championship at All American Speedway.
Yeah. Um, I know this was the first year of Cars Tour West, as you mentioned. This is, kind of year two. What's it going to be like running that series? I know that there's a lot more competitors out there, and I know I guess some of the SRL people are kind of getting behind it. So what's that going to be like heading out there and racing there?
I think it's gonna be a fun year. I mean, they're introducing more classes, and we plan to run at least one race in each of them, and might do a couple double duty races here and there. I think it's been a pretty cool year, though. More competitors, I think, consider there's more classes now, and I think it's been a good year for Car Store West.
Yeah. Recap your 2024. I know it was a pretty good year winning the pro and super late championship at All American. What was the rest of the year like? What were some of the highlights of 2024 besides winning that championship?
Mhm.
Because I know you accomplished a lot of other things too.
We got a pretty good amount of podiums in the Cars Tour West and other races we ran in. Um, we had, or my graduation night last year, yeah, was like June 1st, and that night we went and raced at All American Speedway, and I run in both the super and the pro class, which is pretty cool. Graduation day, I was like, if that's the way I'm going to end school with, I think that's pretty cool. Um, we had some great battles all year. It was my first real year in the super late models. We ran at one race at Irwindale, then mostly at All American Speedway. I felt like I got pretty good experience in that. I mean, it's, a lot faster than the pros. So getting into that was really fun. And just kind of learning the differences between the super and the pro, how you drive those, because it's not exactly the same, with more horsepower getting in the corner, a little bit different. And yeah, it was a pretty good year for us. I mean, a lot of learning and pretty good.
Yeah. So I know this year. Correct me if I'm wrong. Were you at the last night of Irwindale?
Yes.
Okay, I got to ask you, what was that like to be a part of? And I know it's tough to see that track go, but what was it like to be there on the final night of Irwindale?
I mean, it was really cool to see like the amount of cars there, all the series. Tim Huddleston was able to get out there, and just like the people, it was crazy to see all the fans. I think he said there's like over 9,000 people in the grandstands. They put even more grandstands in just to fit everyone. And being able to race in that was really cool. I ran in the supers there because I was like originally going to run the pros, and then ended up going, well, if I never run supers here, I never will be able to, so I might as well do it on the last night. And I mean, we ran from like I think 2 o'clock till I think 11 o'clock at night was just racing, racing, racing. And we ended up leaving there, I think 1:30 in the morning. Like it was just so cool to see all the people there, talk with a lot of people, race. Um, it was a little cold though, so they ended up cutting the super race a little bit short. But I mean, I had so much fun racing in that. Wasn't a whole lot of cars, but still being able to race against like I think it was John Moore, Herzog, and there was one other guy who was racing there. But on Friday or Thursday night, we were running our heat and there was a big wreck. I kind of got up in the high groove and they're like, oh, it might be a little bit like slippery up there. I'm like, oh no, I'll be all right. When the corner got way sideways, I was like, yes, it is slippery up there. So instead of running all the heats for the pros, they ended up just cutting the heats just because it wouldn't make sense to run it at that point because they would either just be on the low line or they might have more wrecks. So we had one guy wreck out of our series, which really sucked. But I mean, it was really cool to run with all those people.
Yeah. Okay, so how many times did you race at that track?
I think I only had Well, with Cars Tour, I think I had maybe 4 or 5 races. Our first race was in 2023 at the end of the year, and then we raced 2024 there. And I mean, only 2 years of that track, but it was still such a cool place to race at because biggest track I've ever raced at, and just the speed and the competition, all the different grooves, like it was really cool track, and I'm gonna miss it.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about your 2025 plans. What are those? Where are we going to see? But I know you kind of mentioned them a little bit in the intro, but where are we going to see you this year?
Following Cars Tour West around to all their races. We're gonna be running. I'm pretty sure all the races at All American Speedway. Maybe like a few of them are also part of Cars Tour, so we might be running three classes potentially.
Yeah.
And same with Kern. We're gonna run all the Kern races that we can. And then for the weekends we don't have any races, or where um, we're like, well, might as well keep it. You're stay in the seat. We're gonna be running in Vegas as well. Just get as much seat time as possible this year. Might run a couple Legends races on Circle Track, but I kind of got out of those after getting a concussion. I was like, I really like late models. They're a lot of roll cage, safety, kind of hard to flip a late model, but Legends were just a lot more than, or a lot, I think my dad was saying they're less safe. And I'd rather run late models and get good at those because I want to be running big cars.
Yeah. So outside of really this, like, where do you, what are some of the places that, what are some of the races that you're most looking forward to? Some of the, highlights of your year for your schedule this year.
I mean, definitely racing in my home track, All American Speedway. I love racing there. It's such a great track, like in my opinion. I mean, two different, really different corners, but we've got pretty good system down for it, and I have a lot of fun running there. Same with Shasta. We want to run some super races there, just because it's such a fun track. The first time I went there, qualified pretty fast, was running really fast the race. We had a minor it was like, what was it? It was the throttle cable, or not throttle cable, but the part of the throttle, the pedal broke off, and we pulled off hot pits, got it fixed real quick, went back out there. I ended up being a lap down. Fortunately, they didn't have the lucky dog rule, but I had so much fun racing, like from the back up to the front, and then every caution go back a few spots because not everyone was a lap down for start of the race. But I had so much fun and learned so much in supers racing at that track and in that race that I'm excited to go back there.
Yeah. Okay, so running, I know you're going to be pretty busy with a lot
Mhm.
of stuff. Like, I'm pretty sure you're used to running every weekend, but
Yeah.
it, what are some of what is it like just going out there and running every weekend across the country, across the West Coast, I should say.
Mhm. I mean, it feels great. I mean, my team puts in a lot of work and we always have a lot of fun out at the tracks. I think just getting better, building our notes and all of our cars up so we know we could do well. Last year we struggled a little bit at a few tracks and we want to just keep building on that and getting faster and doing well wherever we go.
Yeah. Okay, so what are, getting used to running, the supers, like what are your goals for 2025?
I mean, I'd love to win again at the All American Speedway. We're gonna be able to run all of Kern this year. It'd be pretty cool to try to get some wins there too. Same with Car Store. I mean, we finished fourth this 2024 inaugural season, and I think we're pretty fast, getting better. Want to go for that championship, and that would be pretty cool. And yeah, 2025 is just more learning, getting faster.
Yeah. Okay, so really just when is your next race? Where can we see you at?
Ooh, I believe it is. It's in Kern is going to be our first race this year because we've been running a little bit of off season at a road course in Vegas, but our first real circle track race back this season will be in Kern, I believe January 25th.
Okay. All right. Oh yeah, the first night of that, and of course the first West race of the season. So
Hmm.
should be exciting there. All right. Well, Kenna, thank you so much for the time as always, and best of luck this season. We'll have you on later in the year.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me.